Shadow test his opponents in battle. Okay, straight up, serious as that, his videos have been popping the fuck off, and they're pretty enjoyable. 100K views 2 months ago, but opponents, YouTube titles does not fucking matter. Type proofs, it doesn't matter. Just make a good video. Let's see what he has to say about this one.
The Eminence in Shadow Season 1 ended quite a while ago, but I'm still reminiscing about the last episode, specifically the fight, or more accurately to say, the tests conducted by Shadow.
It was a test. He was testing Beatrix and Iris, yeah? I felt it was more like a demonstration of power, just to let him fucking know how different we are. And he was just trolling and have like an opportunity to execute his, like, you know, his maniacal laugh.
If you did not know, his experiment could be divided into 3 stages.
Okay.
Strength.
That flash step, that's not even a flash step, bro. The cameraman could not even keep up with the frame step. Look at this.
Divided into 3 stages.
Look at this. Cameraman could not keep up.
Strength. Magic.
Notice how in each of these examples, strength, sense, magic, it's Beatrix being shown. Not Iris, it's Beatrix.
These steps ensure maximum enjoyment to Shadow and thus the viewer. I will break down those moments for an easily understandable video.
Okay.
So make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let's begin.
I don't even need to have these subtitles on. This guy already has the subtitles for me. Nice.
I will do it.
But before that,
He keeps using English dub though. Why? Why do you gotta do the English dub to me like this?
showdown, let's rewind to episode 16, the moment where Beatrix and Sid had a memorable encounter in the tunnel when passing
Never mind. The subtitles were only for the minute-long intro. Subtitles are back.
by each other for the first time. Beatrix recognizes the elf's scent and asks if he knows any elves who look like her, but Sid lies, resulting in Beatrix drawing her sword to his throat.
I see.
It was a test though. She just wanted to see.
Reacting like a seemingly ordinary background character.
Please don't kill me!
Beatrix to put her sword down. After a brief exchange, Beatrix acknowledges
But at this handshake, when they touched hands, she just acknowledges his power or something, right?
the immense potential Sid possesses, and vice versa. Fast forward 3 episodes later, and we witness Beatrix's admiration for Mundane's man combat technique. She couldn't help but be drawn to his skills, even leaning towards the window, yearning for a chance to spar with him. When Shadow engages
And at that point, right, what I didn't really understand, first of all, because it looked like she was protecting Lord Perv asset whenever like Mundane Man and Oriana was like popping off, right? And then we started like to like attack back, right? And then Beatrix went in and fought Mundane Man, or actually it was like Shadow back then. But then I'm like, is Beatrix doing on behalf of Lord Perv asset? That doesn't make sense. No. She just wanted to have a good fight, right? She acknowledges Shadow and she's like, oh, this is a good chance. Let's see what happens. Because she's like the war goddess, right? And the most interesting thing is, power scaling wise, I was not aware of this. I thought Beatrix was stronger than Alpha. I straight up thought the warrior goddess Beatrix, because she's Alpha's aunt, I don't know if seniority also plays into it, I thought she was super strong. Turns out, not even fucking close. No, Alpha and the Shades, they're stronger than Beatrix, or at least that's what TikTok comments and YouTube comments are telling me. I'm not really sure if that's true, but Beatrix and the Shadow Guardian girls, they cannot be compared. The level of power that they have after, you know, training and overcoming the mono overload, it's different.
chance to spar with him. When Shadow engages in political matters and becomes a wanted man, the highly anticipated moment arrives.
Best scene. She has so many fucking burgers. Cute anime girls and burgers. There's something. It's a good combo. It's such a good combo, man. If you just gave Beatrix like a McDonald's hat, it's gonna be so cute.
For Beatrix, as she finally gets the opportunity to engage in a sword fight. Her fascination with different Sid's characters had set the stage for the thrilling confrontation. And speaking of Mundane Man, his opponent was Princess Iris, despite fighting her with feints only until she shone her
Straight up, no weapon was involved in that fight. She thought he was holding a weapon because of the pressure, the insane amount of pressure Mundane Man placed on her by just standing there. No weapon was ever involved here. Man, this is the strongest princess of Midgar. Sad.
her best move.
Emphasis on mid.
What is interesting is that Sid was thinking of different ways to set the stage. One way was to kill her and claim to be a shadow assassin from a shadowy organization and disappear. Well, it's possible he would have actually dealt a finishing blow if not for Rose, who almost upstaged him by killing Oriana's king.
That was crazy. Like, She straight up killed her own dad. I like the resolve here. I think some people said this was to offer some sort of like mercy because he was already like taking control. So, like this is like, is this Oriana like placing her father like rest in peace in like a peace? I'm not sure. Okay, she's stabbing you. I can't say in a peaceful way, but you know what I'm trying to say. He's no longer under control and he can no longer be used, and she's like freeing her dad, right? But isn't there a better way to free your dad than fucking offing him? I don't know, man. This is cold though.
Staged him by killing Oriana's king.
Damn.
After a little warm-up, Shadow puts some distance between her, while Beatrix doesn't chase him down. Instead, chooses to study her breathing.
Borgar.
She lets out a word of admiration, as one would sigh. This is when Shadow begins to test her senses by taking a single step
Frame
forward
step.
and disappears.
One of the coolest frame steps, dude.
While Beatrix couldn't
Straight up, that might be one of the best flash steps ever in anime. There's a lot of flash steps in anime. Every anime has some sort of flash step where the guy is just like walking, then he just disappears, right?
A single step forward.
Disappears, then and then what happens after this? You get a reaction panel from like 5 different characters, like boom, 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 and then one person will say, oh, hi, and then and the glasses guy will be like this, you know? Those kind of moments, it's so cliche. It's been repeated so many fucking times, but every time I see it in an anime, I just eat that shit up because that's what I've just grown up with. But goddamn, might be one of the fastest flash steps I've ever seen.
And disappears. While Beatrix couldn't detect his movement, she's able to defend on instinct alone, but just barely.
Just walking. He's just walking. He just walks past her. Look at her. Sword straight out. Just fucking panicked. What the fuck just happened? Barely deflected that move by instinct, and he just walks on beside her.
Just barely. She thinks as to why she can't detect his movements. Drawing multiple conclusions from a lifetime of battle experience, she thinks that Shadow's sword is natural, comparing Shadow to an individual rain droplet.
What's the matter? We're just getting started.
As Beatrix
What's the matter? We're just getting started.
prepares to embrace her defeat, Princess Iris interrupts their fighting, including herself in this contest with an artifact, since making fun of
This bitch brought a fucking legendary like flame artifact, and it's probably like, who knows what that artifact really is? Maybe in the light novel they actually go into detail about how OP and ridiculous and busted that artifact is, and for her to just get trounced 2v1, right, with a pair of crowbars, that is some disrespect.
Herself was not humiliating enough, she tries to provoke Shadow, asking if using better equipment is not underhanded. For comparison,
you'll need
it's
it.
like bringing a gun to a fist fight, but Shadow just laughs it off and calls it a crutch. Iris then channels all her magical energy to a sword, creating a flamethrower attack to Shadow, but he dodged it without any problem. Shadow then tests Iris' senses if she can detect him in the air, and she can, but later on, seeing that Iris failed to sense his presence,
The artifact is anime only, the crowbar too. Well, I'm glad they brought the crowbar back. But actually, are you saying the crowbar is anime only in this episode? Or are you saying in the entire series, right? Even in episode 1, the crowbar stuff with Sid, the obsession with these crowbars never happened? That's interesting if that's the case, but I like the fact that they brought the crowbar back in this episode, because it was a nice callback, you know, because like in episode 1, we were beating the shit out of a fucking military veteran with the crowbar, and he's like going into detail about how optimal using a crowbar is, and I'm like, what the fuck am I watching right now?
Shadow calls her out and compares her attack to a fireworks show. Beatrix tries to attack Shadow from behind and they continue to exchange blows. Now I want you to keep in mind how fast Beatrix and Shadow move in this scene. Because in the next scene, we can see different humans.
This is the most laziest animation, right? This isn't a good excuse to do lazy animation like this, because look. It's just... Like, look. You don't have to draw a thing anyway. You just fucking draw little sparks and stuff like that, which is like, obviously, more convenient for animators in fights like this, right?
Because in the next
like, look.
scene, we can see...
Like, come on. It's just fucking, it's a fucking still of these like maybe even CGI cartridges, carts, and then you just have these lights.
Different humans and horses who are standing still. At first, I thought that animators got lazy and didn't want to animate it, but then
wait, are you saying that they were just standing still because everything happened within like a single rain droplet falling down? this is like real time.
I thought that animators got lazy and didn't want to animate it.
What?
But when comparing it to the scene I just showed moments before, you can realize that we're moving so fast. Normal people just can't process it fast enough.
So it says real time and they don't even know what's going on. Well, I feel like this is an extremely convenient thing, right? Not only can the animators have an excuse to draw this like lazy animation, but then on top of that, you could say, well, no, this is in real time. They're moving so fast that people can't even possibly move. So it actually makes sense to be like a still frame like that. Yeah, okay, fine.
To react in any way. When getting close to construction site, Shadow deliberately jumps towards it, picking up 2 crowbars.
Best crowbars ever. Reminder that the episode was done by only one person. My man. That is Mappa's strongest warrior. I know that this isn't made by Mappa, but I'd like to think it's like an ex-Mappa worker, you know? The strongest Mappa worker ever that left the studio to make this shit.
I knew it from the beginning. She has real potential.
This is
Beatrix, right? Not Iris. Beatrix, I think.
a callback to episode 1, where this was his go-to weapon in his previous world.
Crowbars are great.
With new weapons in hand, a new test begins. Strength and technique. As he was getting approached by 2 contenders with crowbars in hand, it became evident who possessed
The crowbar has potential? Oh my god. Because he did hype up the crowbars in episode 1. He was explaining in detail on why this weapon was great. I thought that he was talking about Beatrix. I thought he was getting hyped about the war goddess Beatrix. He can actually, you know, fight me. But it was the crowbar. Oh my god. That is beyond disrespectful now. And he's not even trying to be disrespectful, I don't think. No. He truly believes what he's saying right now. That's the crazier thing.
the greater physical power. Sid easily held off Iris' sword with just the tip of his crowbar, while he had
Just
to
the
accept
tip.
more effort when dealing with Beatrix's sword, emphasizing the strength gap between 2 girls. When Shadow jumps to the moving chain, they continue to exchange blows. Iris asks,
Who are you?
I am Shadow. This name and this form that stand before you are my truth.
Everything else is just a fanciful and fabricated fiction.
when Beatrix attacks Shadow in a blade lock, she introduces herself
The English dub, it's not bad, right? Is it bad, guys? I don't know. I'm just so used to the Japanese dub. Whenever I hear English, I just like immediately cringe as like a default response. But it's not bad. It's not bad. The Monday Man voice. Yeah, we've heard worse. For sure, we've heard worse.
asks if they met somewhere before, indicating that she does not recognize Sid in Shadow's disguise. Shadow dodges her question by saying that he only remembers the strong opponents. While jumping onto the river, he recreates Witch's secret art as he once saw used Aurora. But instead of using blood, he uses water. Beatrix recognizes it as a vampire's technique.
Vampire's technique, which is then further, you know, it's like foreshadowing to Queen Elizabeth in season 2, which is a great little Easter egg in season 1, right?
While Iris is mad at how many fighting styles Shadow possesses, Iris, seeing that there are no people or buildings in her crosshairs, uses her flamethrower attack on Shadow, but he just dodges it. While Shadow is distracted at how water is
I just realized Iris is complaining about how many different styles of magic Shadow is using, while this bitch brought a fucking legendary artifact here while Shadow's fighting with a pair of crowbars. Like, how can you be complaining right now?
conductor for magic, Iris attacks Shadow and he uses his foot to throw her to the river. While Beatrix and Shadow continue their fighting,
Humans still have no idea what is happening around them. They're right, they're just all standing still.
Beatrix shows her special drawing technique, focusing on power. Shadow, seeing this, tries to block it with 2 metal crowbars, but they get shattered, making him go back to the original sword. We can also see how destructive their clashes are when no pedestrians are close enough to get hurt. I mean, when they were fighting on their coaches, not a single wind blew in their face.
We just saw Nerosa there. I know. That's a nice little Easter. I also recognized that the first time I saw the episode finale. Nice to see Nerosa. Might be the last time we ever see her actually.
When no pedestrians are close enough to get hurt. I mean, when they were fighting on their coaches, not a single wind blew in their face. While the scene with a blue-haired girl where shockwaves destroyed the stone roads. As they continue to move to the clock tower, Shadow again tries to test her senses, but this time Beatrix reacts to it in time. She's like a student who learned something new from her master.
That's kind of cool. I didn't realize that. I thought that I didn't realize this was like a second an example of the flash step, but this time it's like, oh, this time I know I can just block you like that.
Not this time.
A Shadow congratulates
She straight up says not this time, okay.
and compares her sword skill to himself and Shadow Garden.
Wow, while Iris is still running, trying to catch up right now. Shadow's like giving compliments to Beatrix one-on-one, and Iris is still running right now. Like, please, where are you?
I think that could only include Beatrix's niece, Alpha, when Shadow compares Beatrix's use of magic, which leaves so much to be desired. Shadow would have probably began teaching her the 3 lessons he gave to that pretty strong bandit when he was 13 years old.
Lesson 1. Concentrate a little magical energy in your feet for a burst of speed.
But he got attacked by Iris, who for the love of God could not take a loss for an answer, as Shadow just tanked Iris'
I mean, the attacks look cool, but it's just like, Iris, I feel like she's self-inserting herself here, you know? Well, Beatrix and Shadow are trying to have a good time, man.
Take a loss for an answer, as Shadow just tanked Iris' flamethrower attack head-on because Beatrix was behind him. Shadow then compares Iris and her sister Alexia to wild animals, as
Wild animals. Yeah, I see the wild side a lot. It makes a lot of sense. Alexia is kind of wild, and Iris recently, now she's just emo now.
one could not take rejection without almost killing Sid, and Iris,
They do have those similar thing, you know, with the rejection scene. They are incredibly stubborn and maybe bitchy like that, huh?
who could not stop fighting with raw power. Shadow then clutches Iris' attack and disperses it. This makes Beatrix surprised and easy to push around. Shadow then emphasizes that with borrowed power he cannot be defeated. Shadow then conducts the final test, ultimate moves. Oh, and Iris already failed it with flying colors. But that did not stop her from trying again, putting her life on the line to immobilize Shadow so Beatrix could take him down. When lightning strikes, Iris rushed towards him.
This
but
is such a cool scene, right? Everything happens within the flash of lightning.
Beatrix could take him down. When lightning strikes, Iris rushed towards him, but Shadow took a half step to dodge it. Iris
I think we even curb stomped one of the girls, right? Don't we step on their faces here?
threw her weapon and tried to grab him, but she got a knee strike to the chin. She did not know this, but Shadow is the most skilled in unarmed combat. Beatrix finishes channeling magic in her drawing technique. Last time, without magic, it managed to destroy 2 crowbars.
No!
Shadow learned from this.
Not the
and dodged
crowbars!
the attack while performing Aikido movements to throw her to the ground and stepping on them so hard the stone
Both of them, you're right. Both of them got stepped on. And you're right, Alexia does mature, but Iris isn't, which is really interesting in how they're developing season 2, right? Because you thought that Iris is maybe the mature princess of the 2 in season 1. You thought that Iris, because Alexia is the one that's insecure about her powers, and she wants to be like, you know, Iris, and she gets compared to her. But now it's the other way around. Alexia is on the path of the good and the light, and she's like reading books and trying to get stronger and getting one-on-one lessons with Sid. And Iris is just going on a spiral to the point where I feel like she could join the rounds. I don't know. Would she ever? Would she be desperate enough for power? People who are desperate for power usually end up just taking those fucking cult pills and, you know, become the awakened, right? I could totally see that happening. We'll see about how Iris' redemption happens, though.
floor shattered. As he was trying to leave, Iris stops him, saying that he's already cornered in the Midgard kingdom and has no place to run. But Shadow just starts laughing and drops the epic line.
Run away?
But Shadow just starts laughing and
You can kind of hear the laugh here, the dub laugh.
drops the epic line.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Just a little bit?
Midgard kingdom and has no place to run.
Okay.
But Shadow just starts laughing and drops the epic line.
That laugh sounds so bad. It's very quiet there. I'm not sure if you guys could hear it, but it sounds so bad.
Run away?
Where?
Who's running? Running where?
Releasing so much
English dub. I mean, I'm gonna prefer Japanese dub. That was alright, right?
magical energy, it covers the entire capital. Beatrix was speechless and Iris was astonished. We then change scenes and go to Iris' sister, Alexia, who accepts her death, but her resolve does not waver. As for her sister, well, her crutch just fell out of her hand. As Shadow boasts about his attack, he releases his best move.
And at this point, there's a lot of, I'm not sure what is correct, but you know how he has like almost like a flashback, and then the kid Sid is shown, and then the kid Sid says something, but it's like silent. Some people are saying that mouthing, whatever he said was atomic. Some people are saying yamero, as in stop. So the I'm atomic obviously goes through the sky and clears the sky, but I'm not sure what it is between the two, right? At this point right here. Yeah. Is it yamero or atomic? I don't know. People are saying either or. I don't know who's really right here.
Looking at how the story was progressing, he should have said Atomic, but after some lip reading and community theories, he might have actually said Yamero. which
Yeah.
means stop.
Yeah. That's what people are saying. Stop, Yamero or Atomic. Either or would be fine. Yamero would make sense because it's like stop, right? So he stopped, you know, fucking nuking the people. It just went upwards. But the little silent Atomic, it'd be yeah, I could take that too.
In Japanese language, I even tried comparing lip scenes from another episode where he says Atomic, and it is in fact
Atomic.
different.
A little
I will
different,
leave the
different.
speculations in the comments if you have your own theories. When Iris
Atomic doesn't end like that, right? Atomic. It's a bit different. I could see Yamato happening.
I will leave the speculations in the comments if you have your own
Who
theories.
knows?
When Iris and Beatrix witnessed Shadow's magic, it was so bright Iris had to cover her eyes. What they saw next was a sunny day. Iris finally comes to realize that she lost and starts crying, while Beatrix just
looks in pity. That frame right here, man. There's a lot of hate for Beatrix that I didn't really understand initially, but I'm starting to understand more and more because she's such an insecure bitch that just like can't just take the loss. She's just being such a sore loser, right? And she can't get over herself, and like she can't possibly try to be like more humble and try to like move forward. Sorry, yeah, Iris, right? There's Iris right here, right? If you think about her situation, that she has to basically solo carry this kingdom because her dad fucking sucks. Her dad doesn't do anything, and she has so much to prove, and she has the weight of her entire nation on her back. It makes sense from a character standpoint. It makes a lot of sense why she is like this, to the point you could even pity her. But a lot of people hate this character. Like, a lot of people really hate this character. I'm pretty indifferent. I'm honestly on the pity side. I'm straight up pitying this girl. She's in such a shitty position. It fucking sucks for her, man. Even Sherry is better than her. I mean, yeah, Iris had to fight against a godlike terrorist, man. It's like, it's not really fair, right? It should be impressive that Iris was even able to keep up, 2v1 against Shadow like that, right? I mean, I feel like she didn't really add much. She was sticking around for sure, right? She was definitely bottom fragging, but a lot of people really hate this character. I'm starting to understand a little bit more why.
just looks down on her. The
Sad.
newspaper states that Shadow, the demon who appeared in the royal capital, was repelled by Princess Iris and Beatrix, the goddess of war. After some
No, I saw that. Goddess of Borgor. We would be fools to engage the enemy. Hold my coffee
was
milk.
repelled by Princess Iris and Beatrix,
Borgar! Goddess of Borgar!
the goddess of war. After some time passed, Beatrix is leaving the country. She advises Iris to let it go, as she compares Shadow to many entities mortals could not rival. But Iris
Elizabeth.
ignores her advice. This
It's cool that Beatrix was foreshadowing Queen Elizabeth in season 1 and we had no idea. I'm sure some people that actually read the manga or the light novel knew though, right?
reminds me of another piece of advice which came from Shadow, but she ignored it too. There was a line from a light novel before nuking the sky. The Shadow said, "Make sure you remember who your true enemy is."
Who
the
is it?
final conclusion from Beatrix is when she sits in the train and takes out the origami.
Burger
Sometimes
wrapper!
Something behind the scenes happened with
Yeah.
Sid. It might as well be the content from
Your kid's name, and we'll be watching, the Master of Garden cleaner SV content
an
soon.
RPG game. Although only the 7 Shadows Chronicles are canon to the main storyline. You can check out this video
Pretty good video, right? Hey, I mean, this guy Sears Zab, again, he's only at 594 subs. Go sub to his channel. Like his video if you enjoyed, He's been making on Eminence Shadow bangers. The algorithm is favoring him a lot. Give him his videos, check it out. This episode, definitely one of my favorite episodes, right? I think it's a lot of everyone's favorite episodes. Not just because it's my most viewed video on YouTube, but the entire fight scene was so ridiculous. The actual demonstration of power between Shadow versus Beatrix and Iris, right? This is a 2v1 scenario. To the point where he's fighting with a crowbar, right? He's humiliating these girls. And the final I'm Atomic, who knows if it was Yamato or Atomic. I think it might be Yamato. It makes a little bit more sense. Ascending up towards the sky. Beautiful way to clear the ending. And cool to see that there were some scenes like this where, Beatrix was foreshadowing the existence of Queen Elizabeth that I didn't even know about. But cool to see stuff like that in these videos.